Yeah, I want to address the metals takedown fake out today. Hey, I'm not putting out any kind of stuff like the silver pumpers, and I saw the stuff about, oh, the banksters did this and the banksters did that. Yeah, it's partly true. But you know what I went right over to see? What's the news from Vladimir Putin? What's going on? Headlines right out of New York Times. Vladimir Putin states, this is from just hours ago, so maybe by the time you look at it, it might be, I don't know, maybe a day old. But Vladimir Putin states he could take Kiev in Ukraine in 2 weeks. What the hell does that tell you is coming up? Tensions, serious global tensions. What happens during serious global tensions? Gold, oil goes up, and palladium especially. Do you see the takedown on palladium today? It's all electronic. Now, I'm not selling none of it anyway because I'm thinking it's going to be worth more than gold when I go to sell it. It was a Bankster takedown for that reason, because the news is telling me the opposite should be coming up pretty soon. It's not like a guess where you're talking about, well, let's say it's in guess. Let's say it's not like you're talking about QE is going up, or the debt's going up, or they can't resolve the budget crisis, or another country is not using the dollar to exchange oil. When Vladimir Putin talks like, I can take Kiev, the capital of Ukraine, in 2 weeks, that's serious global tensions. You're not dealing when you're talking with Russia, man. You're talking about a global superpower, and I personally think, well, the administrations in the past, especially like Obama and Clinton administrations, have really gutted the hell out of our military more than anybody. And I really don't know what the hell the Russian scientists know, but Russian scientists are on the forefront of pretty much everything. In other words, if their conventional forces are lacking, they probably got some seriously high-tech weapons that are specifically designed to work against U.S. weapons. And it's like everything in the defense industry in the United States has been infiltrated to the max by Russia and China. Actually, if there ever was a shooting war going on, it's going to be the individuals in the United States that are going to fight them, more or less, because when it comes down to it, all these Putin cheerleaders, what Putin would do for the American citizens and all the males that are freaking following RT left and right, is he would give his troops all your women and all your possessions. That's what he would do. He would reward them and take it from you. He ain't going to take it out of his pocket. That's what he would do. Bottom line, just get it clear cut to you, because actually I think my next video is I'm going to put something out about this Abigail Martin specifically again, because I put a video out about how it was she went over to RT. Very suspicious. And I don't want to get into, it's not just all about RT, because some of the people that work for RT are just, well, they resigned, You've seen some of the people that resigned from it, Some people just work for the damn freaking news outlet. But her specifically, something fishy with that one, big time. And I'm going to bring out my suspicions on that deal. But the reason the metals went down was a Bankster takedown. Let me just put it to you that way. I'll put that old worn out cliche out here again. Because what should be going on real soon is the opposite. I know what the tensions with Russia are going up through the freaking roof, man. Forget it. And no way in hell is gold and oil and palladium especially going to be dropping down under those conditions. Especially palladium, which took the biggest hit today. Now, it's not like I'm going to go run over and exchange my palladium for US dollars right away. I'm not worried about that. But I'm just telling you, it's a major takedown fake out today to the max. And the sentiment has gotten so, like, they don't want to hear, nobody wants to hear the stuff about the silver this and silver that and gold this and gold that. They don't want to hear it anymore. The sentiment is getting, people are thinking it's going much, much lower. And pretty much that's the whole sentiment. Which is telling me, I don't think so. I don't think so. It may if the stock markets crash like crazy. But now that I see this latest news from Putin, that definitely don't add up with the Palladium going down. That's an electronic takedown to the max. When the whole reason Palladium's been going up is because of demand. It's because 95% of it has been is used up in the industry. But when you're seeing a headline on the same day where Putin is telling people, 5 hours ago that he could take Kiev in 2 weeks, that's major Russian tensions. That should make Palladium go way up, but it went way down. And you can say, "Oh, the markets have a mind." That's manipulation, man. It's poised to take a bounce the other way. I don't know exactly when, but I am totally confident in Palladium to the max. They might take it down a little more, but when Putin's talking like that, metals and oil and gold are going up. It definitely was a Bankster takedown. I'll put it to you that way, a Bankster takedown. Now, I always have a link on spot market price oil, of the rigging of spot market price of oil and the metals. And it's not coming from, I always have that in the information box. And it's not coming from the alternative people. It's not coming from some trader. It's coming from the best and the top people in the business, including the former head of the NYMEX. There's been an ongoing lawsuit about them rigging spot prices for the last 10 years. And actually people that are in the know that the spot price is total BS. It's been that way since day one, basically, man. It's been manipulated. It's just gotten more manipulated lately. So, I don't know. That's all I really got to say about these, because I don't want to tell you, just beat the issue to death. But you could see some. I'm going by what Vladimir Putin's saying. I'm not going by the metals charts. I'm not going by the debt ceiling is coming up, or it could be the Middle East could be one thing, or it could be the deal with Ukraine that could send the metals up. When Vladimir Putin states today that he could take Kiev in 2 weeks, and just last week he's talking about, don't mess with Russia, we're still a big nuclear superpower, we're not going to take any crap for anybody. He just said that last week, right? Basically, exactly those words, but we're not going to take anything crap from anybody, right? We're still a nuclear superpower. And today he states that he could take Kiev in 2 weeks. And then you see the metals go down. That's manipulation. Because the reality of the situation is they should be going up. And they can't manipulate them down, really. It's all electronic. They make money on the movement. They manipulate them up, they manipulate them down. They manipulate them up, too. That's something else I want people to remember, because when they manipulate them up, everybody in the world is going to be afraid to sell, which is fine. Like I said, the U.S. dollar is going to be the currency of the United States for quite some time, unless there's this global nuclear catastrophic war or something, and then I don't know what the hell can happen. But under the normal circumstances, the U.S. dollar is going to be the currency of the United States, whether it's diminished as not the global reserve currency of the world, fine. It's still going to be the currency we use here. It's not going away. So if you get a lot of U.S. dollars for your silver and gold, then you can buy something else with it that's a depressed hard asset, you should do it, because they're going to manipulate it up too, besides manipulating it down. Anyway, pay attention to the Middle East is very confusing. I can't figure out what's going to happen there. But when Putin says something, it's pretty clear cut. I think the West wants this guy dead, and he's not going away. And it doesn't mean he's a good guy because he's competing with the New World Order Western guys. He's just competing against one gang competing against the other gang. That's all that deal is. But today's takedown definitely was manipulation to the max, man. I'm going to tell you, man. It's not going to stay that way. Pay attention to what Putin says. And if something happens in the Middle East, that's going to add way more fuel to the fire, and the metals will go way the hell up. Actually, I think the West is trying to manipulate Putin into a major conflict in Ukraine, and I think all this crap is even being manipulated by the West too, somewhat. There's a lot of games going on behind the scenes, because that would give more impetus for the West to get involved in the Middle East, because Russia may be busy over in the Ukraine with all kinds of problems. That'll tie them up. It's a matter, because I don't think, even though some sectors of the Ukraine are pro-Russian, there's other sectors that aren't at all. I mean, you got to remember what happened to Ukraine in the 1930s. They starved out millions of people. Stalin did. I mean, that's not that many generations ago. That's not that long ago. People still remember that. There's a lot of Ukrainians that are vehemently anti-Russian. So if Russia tries to take over Kiev and take over all of Ukraine, there's going to be civil war going on there for a long time, and they're going to have to keep a lot of troops over there and spend a lot of money on a deal. And that may keep them busy while Washington, D.C. can do its policy over with Syria and Iraq and Iran. That may be the policy of the West all along. But under those circumstances, what's going to happen with the metals and oil? They're going to go up. So today was a Bankster Takedown. I don't like saying that too much. I normally don't say that type of stuff, but today is pretty damn obvious. Because of what Putin said, the market should have reacted completely different. Completely different. And they didn't, so they're gonna react that way though. They will. Russian tensions are gonna send gold and oil and silver and palladium way the hell up. Over and out.